Hi everyone, welcome to the Sandbox Center's Experts in Residence session, Digital Marketing and E-commerce, where today we'll be breaking down 10 website lead generation tips in 10 minutes so that your business can become more recognizable and more profitable. My name's Mackenzie and I'm the creative lead here at the Sandbox Center. For first-timers who aren't acquainted with the Sandbox, we are located downtown Barrie and online. We connect people and their ideas to business resources so that you can create a better life through business. Sandbox is proud to acknowledge that we're positioned on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people, which include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. Prior to the 17th century, the Wendat Nation Huron also occupied this land. We're committed to educating ourselves and our community on the importance of honoring the first occupants of our land while supporting actionable steps towards reconciliation. Today, we're super excited to have Daryl Wojtowicz, Sales Manager of NetGain, join us to give us the concise rundown we all need when it comes to generating leads from our websites. Now, no one said lead generation was easy, but if your marketing efforts can be the bread and butter to supporting your sales, it's a major win. Daryl, as the sales manager for NetGain, supports businesses attract new customers through powerful web marketing strategies. NetGain has specialized in digital marketing for over 12 years, so they definitely know a thing or two about converting new website visitors to being paying customers. So let's get into it. The countdown is on. Daryl, over to you.
Thanks, Mackenzie, for the warm welcome. I appreciate that. And welcome to you. I'm so glad that you're with us. Today's session is called Lead Gen in 10. And we're going to cover 10 lead generation ideas in rapid fire in 10 minutes. Chances are I won't stay on the 10 minutes, so don't hold me to that. But I thought the title Lead Gen in 10 had a better ring to it than Lead Gen in 13 minutes. But there's some important information here, so let's dive in. We should start by talking about what exactly we mean by lead generation, because I do get that it means different things to different people. We're going to be taking a bit of a digital marketing slant to today's presentation, but I'm working under the premise that you work for a business that needs new customers. So you could set up shop, maybe put up a website, throw up a sign, cross your fingers and hope that customers are going to find you in some sort of build it and they will come sort of a way. But why leave that to chance? I prefer a more proactive approach, and that's where lead generation comes in. Now, there's no one thing that's really going to move the needle on generating leads for your business. That's why we're going to cover 10 of them today. And my hope is that you'll be able to take 2 or 3 that you're comfortable with and then run with that and attract new business for your company. Number 1, be found when people are looking. So admittedly, this is a bit of a more passive approach, but the idea here is that when somebody who's never heard of your company before does an online search for your type of product or type of service, what are the odds that you're going to show up in their search on the first page of Google and ideally towards the top of that first page of Google? So my advice, look at your website through your customer's eyes as though you've never even seen it before. And you want to deliver the highest quality experience possible. So what does high quality mean? It's got to be fast loading. It's got to have intuitive navigation, modern design. And my number one advice, and really SEO could be considered like an entire hour-long subject, and I've got about 1 minute here, is loads and loads of high descriptive, informational, written copy on your website. So that'll give your visitors everything they ever wanted to know about your product, but it also gives Google something to read. So when it comes along to crawl your site, you'll be rewarded with higher ranking. Number 2, call to action. So this could be considered low-hanging fruit for generating new business for your company, but I don't know why companies don't take a more serious approach to this. I mean, you may have a website that looks great and can be found online, but I see so many companies that fumble the ball on the 1-yard line because their website isn't geared to receive leads. So what do I mean by that? Well, some simple things like on the mobile version of your site, make sure there's a click to call button so people can easily get a hold of you. And calls to action. So I'm talking about those buttons. So think about whatever it is that you want people to do on your site. Is it a buy now button, subscribe now, download this white paper, or maybe request a quote? So make sure that wherever somebody is on your website, they're only one simple click away from getting a hold of you and making contact. So you want to have call to action buttons that stand out and that are throughout the website. You need to roll out the red carpet to make it as easy as possible for people to get a hold of you. Which brings me to the next thought, which is what happens when they click that button. More often than not, a contact form will come up. And I see so many people or so many businesses unintentionally scare customers away with 9 different fields on their form. You need to resist that urge. And so take a look at your contact forms now. Try to keep it at the bare minimum. Name, email, phone, and a little spot for a message. All the rest of the details of that transaction, you can deal one-on-one once you've got the lead, but don't sacrifice getting that lead by having a contact form that scares people away. Number 3, social proof. So what do I mean by social proof? Well, it's just a fancy marketing term for a testimonial. So you tell me, what's more compelling? Telling people what a great company you work for, or your customers telling people what a great company that you are? It's no surprise that third-party endorsements are such a powerful psychological motivator and people are drawn to them. And what is surprising is that people don't include those testimonials in social proof throughout their digital marketing. And a little thing like adding a testimonial on a homepage can go a long way to persuading someone to reach out to you, which is all part of lead generation. And there's a bunch of different ways you can go about this. Google 5-star reviews are a great way to rank in the map stack. Getting a Facebook or Yelp review, depending on your type of industry. And these days, a video testimonial is such a powerful, persuasive tool. So I recommend once you've gathered these reviews and testimonials, don't just bury them on some testimonial subpage on your website that nobody is going to find. If 90% of your traffic is going to your homepage, then be sure to include those testimonials directly on your homepage. It can go a long way to nudging people towards picking up the phone and calling and inquiring about your products and services. Number 4, LinkedIn outreach. This may be a little bit uncomfortable for some of you, but I like LinkedIn for its personable approach to generating leads. Have you heard of Sales Navigator? I'd be curious if anyone's using this. Just be sure to chime in on the chat or the comments. It's a really powerful tool. So assuming that you're in a business that caters to a specific niche or maybe a certain geographic area or a certain industry, then Sales Navigator has got wonderful tools for connecting you with the exact people that you want to be connected to. So how do you go about doing this? After finding who those people are, I recommend just a soft touch. So you're asking for an invitation to connect. And that message could be something along the lines of, hey, I noticed we're part of the same association or we're in a similar industry. I thought it might be nice to connect. Simple. You're not going in with some sort of ask or request or selling anything. You just want to get connected. A certain percentage of those people will be glad to accept your connection, and then you can follow up. Again, not with a hard sell or an ask. It's just quite simply bringing value. So maybe you can reference an article or what other people in the industry are doing. Try to anticipate what their pain point is and build value around that in your next communication. It's a bit of a numbers game, so don't be discouraged if your first 2 or 3 don't go that well. Maybe you need to be doing 5 a day or 10 a day, whatever that number is, but I suggest you go outside of your comfort zone and use LinkedIn as a tool to speak directly to your ideal dream client. Number 5, cold call outreach. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about sending an email to someone who's not expecting your email and has never heard of you. So with all the spam and mountain of emails that people are receiving, does that even work? Well, it can if you go about it the right way. I suggest when you're curating your list of contacts that you do a little bit of research, and it goes a long way to show them that you know them by having done some research and understanding who your client is. And when you do reach out by email, come bearing gifts. So you're not going in for an ask, you're not going in for a sale, you're there to provide, again, some sort of value, build trust and credibility right on that initial outreach. And much like the LinkedIn, if you can anticipate what their pain point might be and build value around that, that's always a good starting point. Now, the tone of that email, because I get a lot of inbound emails and I see one of 2 things. So I recommend don't going overboard either way. Do you want to be robotic and sterile in your messaging, but you want to resist the urge as well to be cutesy or goofy in that email? Just keep it conversational and professional. One final kind of nuts and bolts thing is around open rates for emails. You want to be paying attention, like in all of your marketing. You want to know what's working and what's not working. So figure out what that combination is on subject line and your messaging that is getting people's attention. If I was receiving an email that says, "Hi, Daryl," I'm much more likely to open that instead of an email that goes to info at, which is again part of your research. And in the subject line, experiment with what works well. You might start off with something simple like "quick question" in the subject line just to pique their curiosity. But track it, and if that doesn't work, change it up, find out what does. So email outreach can be a really strong way of generating new business for your company. Number 6, pay to play. Here I'm talking about pay-per-click ads, also known as Google search ads. So the concept is that when someone is doing a search for your type of product or service, is that your ad shows up at the very top, above all the organic listings, above the map stack. It's your ad right in front of them at the exact moment that they're ready to make a purchasing decision. How great is that? But I see companies mess this up all the time, so I've got a few tips on helping you craft an effective ad. First concept, which I strongly recommend, is having a landing page instead of sending paid traffic to your homepage. So a landing page offers you customization, so you can craft your message around exactly what that person is searching for versus sending them to a home page which has a lot of distractions and a lot of escape routes off of the page. And if you set up your landing page in conjunction with a call tracking number, my favorite thing about running ads is you can get extremely precise return on investment calculations. So you can know exactly what not just your cost per click, but your cost per lead, more importantly, your cost per acquisition, and then be able to figure out your return on investment. Google will happily take your money. It's up to you to measure whether or not it's working, and I see companies just throwing money at Google Ads, hoping that it's going to work. Just a few details if you are running ads, and I would be curious your success, just again in the chat or comments if you've been running ads. A couple things. Don't run your ads 24/7 unless you're in a 24/7 business. Also, a lot of people will set it and forget it, which is a lousy marketing strategy. You want to be active and find out which keywords and key phrases are working and which ones aren't. The ones that aren't, get rid of them. And the ones that are working well for you, maybe you double down on your bidding strategy. Number 7, retargeting. Have you heard of this before? It's also known as a remarketing ad. So again, it is an ad. And what it's meant to be is that reminder, and you've probably seen it when you're surfing around the internet and there's ads that seem to follow you wherever you go. Those are retargeting ads. And it's meant to be just a friendly nudge to remind you of that thing that you were going to do when you were on that website the other day. So it's ideal for companies with perhaps a longer sales cycle where they're not expected to make a buying decision the moment that they hit your website. You can still stay top of mind with a retargeting ad. It's also good if you're running an e-commerce store and you get abandoned shopping carts, where you can remind people, hey, you were looking at that lamp the other day and here it is again, and persuade them to buy. One of the reasons that I like the retargeting ads is that they're cheaper than a traditional Google search ad. But if your website isn't up to par, like we talked about in number 1 and number 2 tip, and you're not discoverable online, then don't go rush into a retargeting ad. Get those things in place first, and then do those remarketing ads. Number 8, organic social media. You need to show clients that the lights are on and somebody's home. It is not good if a prospective customer visits your Facebook page and there hasn't been an update in 6 months. It sends the wrong message. And you never know where that next lead is going to come from, because people aren't just checking your site, they're checking all of your social channels. They've got multiple ways to learn about your company. So you need to take a multi-channel approach to your marketing. And by multi-channel, I mean doing all the 10 things that we're talking about today, including social media. Now, there are some do's and don'ts, as you can imagine, with social media. You don't want to be all sales all the time, or too pushy, or always talking about your product and always talking about you. You want to let your true personality come through in those social posts and show that there's real people behind the company. One thing that if you haven't done it yet on social media is I suggest running a contest. We see these are extremely effective. So if you can cook up some sort of contest that might resonate well with your audience, that is a great way to generate new followers, new leads, and new customers. Number 9, paid social media, which is different than organic. So we're talking about paid Facebook ads for the most part here. And the great thing about Facebook, I never thought I'd use those terms together, great and Facebook. Perhaps one of the scariest things about Facebook is the unprecedented targeting that you can do of your ideal customer. I mean, for example, you can even set up a geofence to have your Facebook ads run when somebody enters a specific area of town or when they visit a competitor. It's remarkable. So let's talk about the difference between a boosted post and a paid ad. Are you familiar with the nuance there? A boosted post increases the likelihood of your post showing up in your target audience's feed. And it's meant more for soft goals like engagement. When I say engagement, likes and shares and retweets, that kind of thing. And just building brand awareness. But a paid ad is a little bit more aggressive. It allows you much more customization of that ad, and it's more geared to business goals and marketing goals like website conversions, e-commerce purchases right on your site. Another reason that I like Facebook ads is it's quite a bit less expensive than traditional pay-per-click advertising through Google. On the downside, it's a little bit more difficult to measure success, but I strongly recommend that you jump in and just run a few ads and measure the success. Number 10, ask an expert. I can't believe you're still with us. You made it all the way to the end. Congratulations. This last one is an interesting one. So I'm assuming that you're responsible for generating new business for your company. So I strongly recommend, I know that you're already an expert in your field, but I strongly recommend positioning yourself as an expert by joining a local association or a local business group or the sandbox. Step 2 would be to volunteer to host some sort of seminar, an educational seminar where you're giving away information for free, which kind of sounds like the opposite of lead generation. But by positioning yourself as that expert and giving away the information, you can often generate demand for your products and services and find that exact clientele that you were looking for in the first place. Now, because we're talking a little bit on the digital marketing side of things, by volunteering, you could also do a webinar or even just do a series of videos and get creative, whatever your field happens to be. You could just do a series of 1-minute videos on how to, or case studies, or whatever that happens to be. And if you go that route, be sure to paste that or publish that on your website, promote it through your social media channels. Again, that multi-channel marketing. But you will, by positioning yourself as an expert, you will attract clients. Well, that's a wrap on the top 10 lead gen ideas in 10 minutes or so. My sincere hope is that you've learned something new, and that ideally you would go back and employ all 10 of these ideas. But even if you just dip your toe in the water with experimenting with 2 or 3 ideas that you're comfortable with, you might just surprise yourself on attracting some new customers for your business. So I hope this has been helpful. I wish you luck in attracting new clients for your business. Have fun.